Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Periscope? Welcome, welcome, welcome. If the audio is working out for you guys and it sounds good, throw in a Wi Fi for me really quick. I just want to make sure. Just want to make sure the audio is sounding good. So you guys put in a Wi Fi perfect. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to the Kilo Bravo Delta Zone, you guys. It's official. This is our 7705 broadcast in the Kilo Bravo Delta Zone. My name is Keith B. Dixon. I am a photographer. I forgot what I was, so I had to put it on the front of my shirt so I could see it in the camera. I'm just kidding. What's going on? I hope you guys are doing well. Tonight we're going to talk about a little bit of photographic technique. I'm going to give you a little taste of the 90 PT because I'm talking about it. I'm going to launch it the second week. The new platform of the 90 PT. I'm going to launch it in. Usually we do a live webinar every second Saturday, so that's coming up, you guys. So this not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, I'm going to launch the brand new program, and you guys are going to love it. So I'm going to give you a little taste of what it's like to be in a 90 PT, what you could expect to see, how you could expect to see it, and why people are talking about it. I got to tell you. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And I'm going to share some other information. I saw some real interesting articles, you guys, on the Digital Daily today. You know, I put out a Digital Daily. I'll get to that in a second. Yes. Oh, no, you should have got it, Nicole. You should have got that. Matter of fact, I sent it to you that night. If you didn't, let me know. I'm looking right at the screen right now. If you didn't get your link, let me know because I definitely sent it to you. So whatever the PayPal email address you used, that's the one I sent it to. You didn't get it? Okay. Check your spam too. And as soon as I get off the broadcast, I'll send it to you. But yeah, right after, I don't play around. I get real instant with that because I need you to get started. Okay, you guys, there it is right there. Thank you for tuning in. If you see me looking to the left or right, you guys, all I'm doing is looking down at your comments or the screen, either way. And I gotta tell you, you're gonna love it. See, and that was let me sidebar and deviate for a quick second, you guys. By the way, if you're super brand new to the broadcast, this is very photographer specific tonight. So if you're interested in photography, it's definitely gonna educate you. And you guys, that's one of the reasons why I'm switching over to this newer platform, just because of things like that with the emails and all that kind of stuff. I gotta tell you, some of these companies, they just gotta get it together, you guys, at the end of the day, and just get the technology right and more integrated. So anyhow, let's get the show on the road. So as I mentioned, the 90 PT program, it's pretty deep, it's pretty in depth. And guess what, you guys, guess what, there's a brand new platform coming out. If you're not familiar with the 90 PT, it's real simple. Here it is right here. You can screenshot this if you want to get a good feel for it, or you can go to workshops.keithbdixon.com, workshops.keithbdixon.com, and that'll take you there. Is .com? Let me, I think it might be, I always get these mixed. I got so many websites, you guys. It's workshops, yeah, .com. So that'll be the address. So you can go there and sign up. It's the only, you want to sign up for the blue program, and I'll kind of show you what it looks like, just so you guys can get a feel. So if you're going to sign up for the 90 PT, here's how you do it. You just go here, and all you got to do is click on mentoring and online programs, and voila, you're right there. So there's the 90 PT right there, 90 minutes of photography training, you guys. It is an awesome program because I don't teach it in the way that you're accustomed to. The way that this program works is I'm digging in almost a real time type of in the trench, realistic kind of education, so to speak. It's things that I've learned to do and not to do. And I'm going to give you a good example. Is that Dr. Walter Sims? What's going on, Dr. Sims? I'm going to give you a good example. Let's say you've just watched this YouTube video on how to shoot some butterfly light, and that becomes the plan. And you get to your shoot, and you realize, you know what? The butterfly light ain't going to work. What do I do now? Because I set up for this light. How do I gorilla this out? How do I make a quick change? What do I do? How do I do it? My light meter broke. Those are the kind of things that you're going to learn how to overcome in the 90 PT, you guys. So there it is right there. And I just showed you how you can sign up. Just go to workshops.keithbdixon.online and you get it done that way. Also, you guys, the podcast, it's just got a whole little life of its own. Uh, what can I say? If you want to get motivated, inspired, whatever the case may be, you can catch me right there. Just download some episodes. Let me see names and locations, you guys. Names and locations. Then we're going to dive into some news. Names and locations. Let's go. Names and locations. And let me see who's in here and where you're coming from, where you're logging on from. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So there's Commander Amber, Captain Joe, Nicole, what's going on? Cheryl from the D, what up, though? Phil from Detroit, what up, though? Captain JJ, Dinah Rucker all day. There she is. Shannon O'Hara, Maryland, Missouri. Yep, there we go. Chen, what's going on? Michelle, yep. Deb, what's up, Deb? There he is. Steven, what's going on? Van Photos all day from the A to the Bay. What's up? So look, you guys, let's get going because we got a lot of information to cover, and some of it, it just might peel your cap back a little bit. So, let's dive into this. By the way, if you guys have some questions going into the 90PT right now, it'd be a good time to, if you want to pop in a question about the 90PT, now would be a good time to kind of do it. I got a couple seconds in the broadcast right now. All right. Okay, here we go. Is that DG? What's up, DG? Okay, you guys. So here's the F-Stop It Now. This is my digital daily. It comes out at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. And you guys know I talk a lot about clickbait. You know, sometimes people use clickbait is just something to get you to click it's a headline to get you to click an article just so they can get the click or the engagement. You probably read the first, couple sentences and realize you don't like it. Well, I thought this was kind of interesting because in the very first article, it says fake war photographer gets exposed after fooling the world. Now, come on. You guys, that is so played out. Fake news. Like, that is so played out. That's so cliche, you guys. Come on. Fake war photographer. Like, that's not clickbait. Okay, maybe the guy did fake, some stories. But, I mean, come on, you guys. Like, that's ridiculous. That's clickbait for real. All they got to do is say, hey, the guy basically plagiarized, lied, or whatever the case is. I think it would be just better. But the fake war photographer, like, he's a photographer. He's just not a creditable one. Let's just call it what it is, and here's why I'm beating this up a little bit. Don't always jump on the trends or the fluff or the new word. Just be a little bit more creative and innovative. We don't got to call it fake. We just got to call it what it is. The guy lied. Photographer lies about photos. Everybody's going to read it, but our society has become so copycat oriented that the minute a buzzword sounds, and this is the thing I think is destroying media credibility, is when you start doing stuff like this just to get attention. I mean, can't you guys innovate, on a daily basis? Can't you be creative? That's what you're getting. So writing is called creativity. Writers are called creatives. Be creative. Holy smokes. So I wanted to show you that. And then let's see what else. Let's scroll down, you guys, because in the digital daily, I bring in a collection of photos, and I saw some really good ones. This one right here, stay away from the drama. I agree with you, Amber. This was a really good photo, you guys. I love this. Just the composition of it, the dynamic energy. Of course, the guy's not going to shake his hand. I mean, we don't know if this is being staged for it doesn't matter whether or not it's staged or not. The intensity of this photo is great. And if you're going to do something like this, I'm going to caution you to be very careful, because, they're spraying mace and water and throwing rocks. You don't want to get hurt out there. And a lot of these people that are on these lines, these protesting lines, they're professional protesters. That's what they do. They go out there and create drama. So this is one of the photos. I thought it was a great photo. Great treatment on the photo, by the way, too. And then here's another part of it where they just kind of cut off the bottom of the flag, depth of field, scale. You see how they're using photographic technique in both photos? You see that? And this is Magnum Photos. These guys are just diehard journalists. So, it's in their blood. And I got to tell you, if I could make money doing this the way that I make money now, I'd be all over it, because I love these photos. I mean, I really do. I spend a lot of time looking at Magnum photos, rooters. You guys, I mean, look at this. Amazing lines. Amazing lines. Great job. Larry Towell, Magnum Photos. This was published in the Times. And the Times, they do a really good job they have really good photo editors. Oh, there we go. The new Nikon 850. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys those photos. Let's dive out of there and let's look at some more interesting stuff. Let's go to, I want to show you guys this. This is my weekend, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw this on Facebook, because I know a lot of you guys don't really. Some people like Facebook, some people don't. Anyway, we went out and literally I wanted to buy my wife a new car. I wanted her to have something really nice, because a woman that's going to be married to me, holy cow, you guys. So this is my way of not only thanking my wife, but letting her know that she's important too, and I want her to ride to work in style. So she got to pick the car that she wanted, and this is the one she likes. She loved the body style. And my wife is so funny, because she doesn't she's not real easily excitable about material things. Like, it just doesn't do it. So it's really difficult for me to shop for her sometimes, even though we've been together this long. I know she likes purses, but the kind of purse, the style of the purse. Cars, same thing. Yes. And she's really happy with this car. I wanted an E-Class. She just wasn't feeling it. And I got in there. I fell in love. I fell in love with the service. The service guy was unbelievable. His name was Tito. He was very patient, because we changed about 10 times. We changed colors, interior colors. We changed car models. Finally, we were sitting there. My wife was like, I don't know. I just don't, I'm not excited about any of the cars that I'm seeing. And we're sitting in his office, and she turns around and says, I like the one on the floor. And the one on the floor is usually the pretty one that costs a lot of money. So there you have it right there. So we made that happen. And the thing that I'm sharing this with you guys, because I really felt as if what comes around goes around. And when you invest in people, people invest in you. This guy was so patient with us. They bought us lunch, and, he didn't get frustrated. He spent a lot of time, and in the end, he says, they do work on commission, by the way. They do work on commission. And what he said was, I don't really go after the commission. I'm really after the relationship, because if I can get you to send people my way because I treated you nicely. And I got to tell you, he spoke to my heart right there. And that's why I'm showing you guys this. That's why it was so important for me, guys. I've owned, 1,000 cars. It's not a big deal as much as it is the experience that it created for me. It affected me, and it also affected my wife. And the guy was like, your wife tells me you can cook. Please invite me by your house. I will come. And I was like, I will definitely invite you. So it was the relationship part that really got me. Okay, you guys, let's dive out of here and let's talk business. Let's talk some business, you guys, because we got to talk about photography tonight. Let's go. Our vision is one of the most important things we're gonna have. As a matter of fact, it's a major asset in our photography, you guys. It really is. How we see things, how we position things. And by the way, anytime you see any of these photos in here, I made them. So this is a photo I made, and you can make, if you do the right things, your photos will be timeless. No one will really be able to tell unless something in the photos change. People won't be able to tell when the photograph was made. That is the true test of a photo. The simplest photo or the most complicated photo. So tonight we're going to talk about our vision and what that means and how it relates to using photographic techniques. Now, and here's where I want to go with this. If you want to create great photos and you don't want people to be ultra critical about it, like in a way that they're, people's like, I don't like this, I don't like that. All you got to do is add some photographic technique to it. And if you're adding photographic technique and you're stacking it. We call it technique stacking in the 90PT. If you're stacking techniques, it's kind of hard to argue with. They either like it or they don't. And if they say, oh, I don't like it, it's because it's something they just can't relate to. It's not because it's a bad photo. It's just like, okay, I'm going to the next one. No, I don't really have anything good or bad to say about it. That's okay. We'll take that. So when you create technique in your photo, and I'm going to talk about a few techniques. When you create photos in your technique, it creates interest. For instance, if you're capturing light, if you're showing motion, let's say you're massaging time. What does that mean, Keith? Massaging time. You're using your shutter speed to be creative. Then guess what? You're gonna do some creative stuff. Now the question becomes, is it really creative? Does it really meet some type of photo standard or guideline? That's going to be the subjective part about it. So your photo is always going to be subjective in terms of what it means by creativity, but that's okay. So let's dive into this and see what this really means. So look, in this photograph right here, there's something I called implied motion. Implied motion. So although the guy is frozen in time, obviously, we have blurred the background. We've blurred the background and created a sharp focus on him. The first guy is out of focus, and he's blurry as if he's moving faster than the shutter speed. He is. He is literally moving faster than the shutter speed. And that is something that you're going to have to try to find out and perfect as you start to pan and use this particular technique, because you got to time things out in terms of how fast a car might be moving, how fast somebody's walking. So let's say you're using 1/10 of a second. That might be a little too slow and you blow out the image. So maybe you've got to go to a 15th of a second, a 20th of a second, whatever the case may be. That's what you have to try to determine. And then the next step is creating the depth that that's just going to give you the perfect identification to the background if it's shallow, so it's not completely blown out. But sometimes you can completely blow it out and you just get these sharp highlights in there. You guys have seen that before. But what you're doing is you're trying to match up the depth and the time, and that's what makes this a complicated technique. And then when you use compositional values in terms of line shapes, even shadows, it creates a dynamic image, you guys. Is this making sense for you? If it is, I want you to put in 3.3. Let's go. 3.3. This is some of the things that I talk about in the 90PT, except for I drill it down and I actually tell you how to get there step by step. This is exactly how we do it. 3.3. Let's go. Yep. And if you guys see me looking down, I'm either looking at the photograph or I'm looking at comments on the screen. By the way, I neglect YouTube so much, you guys. I am dual broadcasting on YouTube tonight as well, so it's almost like a YouTube look-in, so to speak. We've got somebody over there watching right now, so thank you. If you're watching me on YouTube, it displays really well on your television too. So, this is called implied motion. I call this implied because we're freezing the action, really. We're freezing the action, but we're using shallow depth and slow shutter and blurriness to create the ideal that people are still moving. And then all you're going to do is just move the camera slightly. That's something you have to time out as well. So not only do you have to get the shutter speed to match the person's movement, you've got to match the shutter speed and your movement with your wrist. You got to coordinate those three things all at the same time to get it perfect. And key is to lock your focus in the center, and move with the subject. That is very difficult to do. I'm going to give you that one right there. And then picking the shallow depth. And I talk about those shallow depths in the 90PT. So that is implied motion. I'm going to pause and see if you guys have any questions here. Do you have any questions you want to pop in before I go to this next slide? This is the quality of the 90PT that you'll see in terms of the slide as well. Any questions before we move on? Thank you. Thank you, brother. Any questions before we go forward? No question is a dumb question unless you're a troll. have any questions on the YouTube side as well. And you guys, I think one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to create these shorts on YouTube. I'm going to switch up to YouTube. I've been trying some things, live streaming into YouTube and posting the videos. Not working so well. I was looking at one of my Perfectly Clear broadcasts, and I used to do webinars for Perfectly Clear. And I looked at one broadcast. It was 11,000 views on my YouTube Perfectly Clear broadcast. So I was like, okay, I got to step my game up. So I'm going to switch this up and start recording these shorts like this and plugging them into YouTube as shorts on, or I'm going to call them quick because I haven't gotten a name yet, but I'm going to plug these into YouTube, you guys, and that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's take a look at this second one. So motion is a big part. Motion is a big part of anything that you're going to do as it relates to your shutter speed. As you slow down, the thing that you have to be concerned with is how much light that's coming through. And you have to equalize that with your shutter speed or your ISO, right? So remember, the exposure triangle still comes into play. And if you want to create better photographs, one of the things that you have to do, I'm going to keep saying this over and over, almost through every slide, is you have to create what we call technique stacking. The more technique you can put in a photograph, the better you will fare. And this is something that I talk about in 90PT. I talk about the different types. We're only talking about one tonight, and that's just panning. But there's so much more. There's so much more that we can talk about, you guys, in terms of what you can apply. What's up, Sheila? In terms of what you can apply to your photograph. Now, here's another one. This is one of my favorites, you guys. And are we slightly off the screen here? Hold on. That's slightly off. I'm going to move that over just a little. Okay, there. That didn't do it, huh? Okay. Anyhow, you guys can see that. So it's slow motion. Slow motion. So remember in the last photo, you guys, we're creating, sometimes we're creating motion, and then sometimes we're creating slow motion. So you can look at it either way. You can interpret what that means. We're implying, so this is implying that the motion is slow. The guys are standing there. They're actually standing still, as you can see. You know they're not moving, but you know that the traffic around them is moving. So there's all kinds of implications in the photo that you can take away when you set it up properly. And as you can see, I actually waited for, there's all different types of colors. I knew red was going to catch people's attention. So guess what? I waited for a red car to come by, or one of those, I forgot what they call them, but the guy's wearing a red shirt and he's got a red card. I waited, and this is part of the absorption phase. You just stand there and let the photography come to you. It's literally, it will too. So I'm just standing. This is downtown San Francisco. I'm literally standing there with my camera, and I'm just panning shots. And I think maybe I may have done 60 or 70 of these to get 3 or 4 good ones. Like when I say good, like ones I'm going to use that I feel just really work in terms of the exposure and color. There it is. And as you can see, the depth is shallow. So I'm working shallow depth here again. But you can imply that this is slow motion, or you can say it's fast motion, depending, and maybe it's an airplane. You know, airplanes fly really fast, so guess what? It's fast motion. So it's just how you see it. Any questions? Yes, there it is right there. Definitely step 1, the absorption phase, you guys. And this is all the stuff. These are all the building blocks that we talk about in the 90PT. Is any questions before we go to this very next slide? Any questions? Okay, let me show you guys this. If you're super brand new, and you are interested in the Bomb Squad community, I'll take you there right here. Okay, as you guys see, we got like 31 people wanting to join the group, you guys. Here's the Bomb Squad community. When you see that banner, you're going to do a request to join. You're going to do a request to join. And all you're gonna do, here's our community, and there's all kinds of postings. And look at that's some good stuff right there. Who's that? Paul. That's some good stuff right there. That's good photography. I love that. You see how he's using depth and lines? That's what I'm talking about. Look at the treatment on that photo. Can you guys see that? That is, now I'm going to tell you right there, that's a dope photo. And I'm going to be back in there after this week, just basically commenting. That is great use of foreground, background, middle ground. Right there, you guys. That's what I'm talking about. So Paul, creative focus. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to see right there, you guys. All right, that's in the Bomb Squad community, and you guys, we vet people out, unfortunately, because we just had a lot of issues. Here's another great photo. That's a posting, but that's just a great photo in general. Maryland, here's this. See, I like stuff like this. You see this right here? Now that's a great photo in terms of just creating a story, you guys. Yeah, he did work that. That was, I got it. I agree with you, Sheila. Maryland did a great job on this one. This is what the Bomb Squad community is about. Look at that. That tells a great story. That's very journalistic. If you were creating a photograph and you guys, the exposure looks better on the actual screen. So it may look a little orange here, but it's not. It looks better. She's got the right color temperature and exposure. But yes. So you guys, there it is right there. And then, I like this kind of stuff. People out exploring textures. Look at this. Look, now I got to tell you, and I'll take a caption like this too when I goof off before work, because the photos speak for themselves. You guys, look at the patterns, right? I don't think Bernard is in the 90 PT, but he gets it, right? Look at the patterns, the textures, the story. Matter of fact, I like this because I know exactly where he is, Ohio State Park, right? I get it. He's putting together a story, showing texture, showing contrast. Woo. Look at my man Calvin is putting in some work, you guys. If you don't know Calvin Hickerson, is Calvin on here? Calvin's putting in work. He'll text me. Matter of fact, he texted me the other night, say I'm just now leaving the studio. He DM'd me. So these are the kind of people that are in the Bomb Squad. This is a very serious community in terms of people. Like, they don't play around. So if you slipping and tripping, people are gonna ignore you, and then eventually you won't be in the group. But now you just got to make it into the group. There it is. All right, let's get up out of here. Take you to this last slide. All right, here we go. Any questions before we move on? Any questions before we move on? Okay. Now, depth is really important. In any photograph you make, the depth is going to make or break the photo. I kid you not. It really will. If you choose the wrong depth of field, you could have a great subject, but you just choose the wrong depth. The margin of error is great that way. So you got to be careful. And the safe way to do is you just shoot different depths. And I would put a big contrast between the depths that you make so that you can actually see the difference. So shoot depth of field, shallow depth of field. I tend to see some really great photos, but sometimes they're just a little too shallow. So the bokeh is cutting off something important. Maybe it's cutting off the side of the face. It could be intentional, but it just takes away from the photo. So you have to plan that carefully. If you guys know Audrey, we gave Audrey an award. She uses depth of field very well, and it comes out of camera that way. So look at her work, you guys. Audrey is a recipient of the Legends Award. I love the way she uses depth of field. Check out her work. I think as a woman photographer, she'll definitely go down in the history books. That's a prediction. She will definitely go down in the history books as one of the best women photographers of our day. Check out her work. All right. So depth is important, you guys. Depth is that important. And here's why. Look at this. So now we have what I call still motion. Remember I talked about implied motion, slow motion? These are just some of them, right? This is just still motion. And I'm using light and shadow. Look at the name of the company. If you're local to the area, you've probably seen Hansen and Finch. They're a pretty big company in terms of what they do in the Bay Area. But look at how I'm using light and shadow and depth, composition, shadow. You guys, you see how that works out? I needed to show something gritty, them taking down. This is what they do. They put up fencing. They do porta potties. They do all kinds of stuff. And I needed to show that, but also needed to brand the company. You see how that makes sense? This is depth. Now, I could have shot shallow depth, but it has a different kind of feel. It's going to force you into those guys, which I did shoot shallow depth, but I like depth. I like the depth better because it was just more grittier. Hold on, I got a sidebar for a second. There's my wife right there, you guys. Everybody drop bombs for my wife. She's dope. I want you guys to drop bombs for my wife right now. We're gonna do a bomb drop for Millie. Let's go. She got a new. This is our 20th year anniversary, so why not do it in style, you guys? Buy a Benz. Thank you so much. That's for you, babe. Community bomb drop. Right? 20 years. You deserve everything. I don't care if I got to work 20 days a week. You deserve it. There isn't 20 days in a week, but sounds good, right? There it is right there. So, you guys, we just celebrated 20 years of just Keith and Millie. So, yes. And being married to me, oh my God. I don't know how she does it. So, yeah, my wife's got a ride in style. All right. So there it is right there. Still motion, implied motion, slow motion. Those are some of the things we're going to talk about. And as you start to apply these techniques, and here's the thing. Me and Sheila, we talk about this a lot. Hey, this is our favorite thing to say. Slow down. Just slow down. Embrace, absorb, right? Get into the phase. Get into the moment. See what's going on. Bring it in. Because guess what? The photography will come. You don't got to chase the photography. The photography will come to you. It will. You just got to slow down. Your adrenaline's going. Your mind is spinning. And you just snap, 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 snap. No. There it is right there. Thank you, Deb. 90 minutes of photography training. You guys, the official launch is going to be next Saturday. Next Saturday. Second Saturday of this month. We're going to launch that new platform. And there's a lot of great features. Outstanding features that you are going to love. Guaranteed. Right? You won't be having email issues. You sign up, email just pops right out with the link. Isn't that beautiful? Let's pause for any questions. By the way, my name is Keith B. Dixon. I am dual broadcasting tonight onto the YouTube platform as well as Periscope, which is our primary platform in a way that we communicate. Okay, so let me tell you guys about the 90PT really quick. The 90PT is every second Saturday we do a live webinar. Unless I'm traveling, then we usually push it back. But every second Saturday we do what's called a live webinar. It's 90 minutes. It starts right at 9 o'clock and it runs for 90 minutes. And then I'll pause at the bottom of the halves. So like 9:30, I'll stop for questions. Everybody chimes in. We kind of move on. I'll stop at the top of the hour, ask questions, and then we're going. And it's just going. It's just hard-hitting information about photography in a way that you've never experienced it. Just ask somebody. Now, here's the deal. It's $290 right now. The price is going up on launch. It's going to cost more. The platform costs more. The time I put in costs more. So the price is going up. So you have exactly less than a week to literally sign up and the price is going up. There's going to be a payment option for you guys. The thing about the payment option is going to cost more because that's something that I have to manage. So keep that in mind. It is a great program. I put my heart and soul into it. The subscription is for 12 months, you guys, 12 months. So there it is. All right. There it is right there. That's the 90 PT. Any other questions for you guys? Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. And, I'm making it more visually appealing. The platform will be more visually appealing, more streamlined. It's a cross between a lot of platforms, but it's just me teaching the class. Yes, you can rewind, watch it over and over as many times. There's no limit, so once you pay, you can watch it 100 times. Matter of fact, if you watch it one time, it's an injustice. I'm just saying, right? It's something to study. When we talk about the inverse square of light, we talk about my favorite section in there obviously is the lighting section. I mean, I really dug into that. We talk about the penumbra, we talk about shadow, what light does, how it looks, and I use my own images. That's the issue. I use my own images. So what I did is I went out and shot a lot of stuff over the years, and then I'm plugging this in and I'm teaching from that, and that's what makes it unique. So it's not like you set this portrait up, right? This is stuff that I was shooting when I had no idea, that I was doing it systematically. I was shooting from instinct, and then I went back and I looked at those photos and I was like, wow, there's a system to this. I just didn't know it. I was just instinctually following it and outlined it. So there it is. All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in. My name is Keith B. Dixon. I am a pro photographer. I had to put it on the front of my t-shirt here because I had to wear this t-shirt because I couldn't remember what I do for it. I'm just kidding. So you guys, I am going to, oh, by the way, how are you guys? No, I'm on, this is Wirecast. So I'm using Wirecast, and I'm broadcasting. Wirecast has the ability to broadcast out to 2 platforms. The only one that you can't dual broadcast to is Facebook. Facebook will not allow simultaneous broadcasting, but you can do it on every other platform. So I'm live streaming right now to YouTube and Periscope. Yep, using the broadcaster feature for Periscope. So let me cover a couple other things too, you guys. So we hit the Super Hearts. You're welcome. We hit the Super Hearts like quick, and I applied, and they said no. And here's the criteria. So you got to have at least 75 replays on your broadcast, and at least 200 people in the scope. Now, as a community, yes, that's their criteria. Now, I've got 230,000 super hearts right now and 17.5 million hearts. And we're pushing right about 2,000 followers organically. There's no trickery there. This is a real community of people. Those are real followers. And I went through over the time and deleted out mostly all of the spam followers. So this is a real community of people. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, you guys. From a social standpoint, it kind of bothers me a little bit because where does this guideline come from? I know where it comes from. I know where the ideal comes from. And it's almost like this is the parallel I'm gonna draw. It's like the law, right? The law is one way, and if you do something wrong, everybody is punished the same way. So the standard set up for social media is for people that are doing big broadcasts. They're pulling in, they're on for hours. People are jumping in and jumping on and jumping out. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that because, and I'll give you a good example. Ruben, he's painting the whole time. So it just makes complete sense because he's got to, he might work on a painting or a drawing for an hour. So that works. So I can see the method and why that's structured that way. But for somebody like me, I'm going to get on for 50 minutes on a broadcast, and I'm going to get on for 30 minutes in the morning and get out because our time is valuable. You know what? I'm a victim of the standard, and I'm not going to here's the thing, I'm not going to adjust what I do to get a badge or saying that doesn't. We'll still super heart it up. I think the super hearts. I think the super hearts make a statement because let's say we get to 2 million super hearts and I still don't have all of that kind of stuff. I can say, hey, what now? 20, 30 million hearts and all these super hearts. When will you guys see that there's two types of audience? There's big audiences and there's small audiences that are really sharp and strong. And I think that's something that we're going to have to prove as a community. We're going to have to prove to them that it's not just big that counts. And that's going to be up to all of us to make that happen, you guys. Is that making sense? Does that narrative make sense to you guys? Yep. Yep. And maybe it's the community getting together and pushing forward and saying, hey, look, you write Twitter, say this is not right. We're supporting this broadcaster. He's on here 5-6 days a week. Maybe that's you guys. The thing that I'm going to say is, after I thought about it, sometimes we carve our own way. We carve our own way, right? Everybody's riding up here and fighting for all of this, and we're just passing up everybody because all the big broadcasters that started on Periscope, they're barely broadcasting. They're barely here. You barely see them. You see some of the diehards, like the Perry Girls, Ruben Arana. You see the Big Dreamer every now and again. When I first started, there was Alex Kahn, Alex Pettit. Those guys were killing the airwaves. There were all kinds of people, and you just don't see them. They're on different platforms, whatever the case may be. So, you got in. Okay, perfect. So keep that in mind, you guys. Keep that in mind. It's a fight, and we got to keep pushing. We're on a different path. So, yes, there it is. So I want you guys to know that. And are there any questions before I dive out of here? Are there any questions before we go? I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause for some questions. If you see me looking down, I'm just looking at your comments here. And you guys go at Twitter and say, hey, why isn't Keith B. Dixon a broadcaster? Or I'm not even a VIP with 17 million. 17 million 5. I'm not even a VIP. And you know what they're going to say? The broadcasts are only 30 minutes. There's only, 100 people, 200 people. The variance is too great, whatever the case may be. That's what they're going to say. That's how they do it. So maybe you guys say, hey, why isn't this happening? We want our broadcaster to be recognized in the community. So, there it is. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. And I definitely won't be scoping about that. We got to push on with the real focus of the community. And that's to build what we've done already. And this is the vehicle that I use. And it's designed for that. Anything that comes along with that, great, for sure. Tell me okay, so question, go. I got you. I'm looking at the camera now, so if you guys got questions, I'm looking over at your comments. So I got to look at 4 different screens, you guys. So if I miss you, my apologies. I charge it to my heart, right? But I'm looking at your comments now. So if you guys have questions, pick a day where we all sign up and super heart it. Yep, that would be dope. I've made a note. Community won't. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna. Hey, that's it, Steven. We're gonna use it for what it's worth. That's right. I totally agree with you on that. We are gonna use this platform for what it's worth, and I love Periscope, you guys. I do. I mean, that's the only reason why I stay with it. I love it. We built a community from this, so I'm not gonna let it go, but I'm not gonna let the lack of recognition slow down. I'm not in this for the recognition. I'm in this for the construction, you guys. the nuts and the bolts. But I just think that the ideal of how social media is viewed and what's recognized, I think that's wrong. And that's my gripe. That it should be identified, not case by case, but it should be identified at different levels. How effective is a community with a small community? How effective is a medium-sized community? How effective is a large community? That's how I think it should be. All right, you guys. If you don't have any questions, I'm going to dive up out of here. My name is Keith B. Dixon. I'm a commercial photographer, social media influencer, you guys. I'm speaking all over the place. And yes, I submitted a proposal to speak. And I'm not going to say where just yet. I submitted a proposal. I was asked to do it. And this one is huge. This is huge. This is just as huge as imaging. So, and it's in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. So I was asked to speak outside of photography, by the way. So this is going to be huge. Submitted my talk and my proposal. An author and a speaker that I know that I respect asked me to do it, and I just can't wait to see kind of what the whether or not I get to do it is the question. But this is huge. It's outside of photography. It's related to marketing, you guys, and I'm looking forward to that. So the speaking tour is going to be deep. The travel is going to be deep for 2018, you guys. It's already stacking up, and I'm excited about that. And I just want you to know this community is very important for me, and that's one of the reasons why I'm speaking. That's the only reason why I'm speaking, is because I know it helps the community. If it wasn't for that, you guys, probably wouldn't be speaking. Probably wouldn't. All right, thank you for tuning in. Keith B. Dixon. I'll see you in the morning, 7:30, 35 Pacific Standard Time. Morning motivation off the top of the dome. You guys, it is one of the most popular broadcasts that I do. It is insanely, for the 30 minutes that we're on, and it's usually 20 or 30, for the 20 or 30 minutes we're on, the statistics are crazy, you guys. Morning motivation off the top of the dome, 7:30, 35. It is the real deal, you guys. I'll see you in the morning. Let's do a bomb drop before we go out. Let's do one more bomb drop for my wife. I appreciate you after all these years for hanging in there, believing in me when when I couldn't even see the future. She believed in me. She was like, I'm going to ride this out with you no matter what, and never gave up, never quit. That's my wife, you guys. Let's do a bomb drop. There we go. Thank you so much. Milagros R. Cruz Dixon, I love you. Thank you so much for everything. Peace. Instagram stories. Yeah, I'm loving Instagram. I got a little hook. Yeah, Instagrams. I'm working on my Instagram story game too. So yeah, I agree with you for sure. I don't know, Michelle. I'm not really sure on the. I'm not sure on the exposure tour. We're mostly having trouble with the scheduling. That's the biggest thing. The scheduling between both me and Sean is just hard because Sean is all over the place. Philadelphia, I'm all over the place. So we're just having a problem with the scheduling. But Sean's doing the studio opening on the 23rd, and then guess what? I can't make that. But we are definitely going to be doing a training, in-depth training in Detroit. You guys, this is definitely going to happen in October for sure. Me and Sean talked about that the other day. Okay, you guys. Yes, in Detroit. Sean is going to get together with the local team there. We're going to put that together. We will be doing a training. Columbus is that's about 50%. We just need to verify that. But yeah, Ohio, Louisiana. Those dates are still good. Those cities are still good. Yes, it will be hands-on. It'll be a combination of both. So small versions of exposure. All right, you guys. Thank you for listening. I will see you soon.